gamers, let's do some more 999. Was going to start earlier, but technical difficulties, so things happened. But we're here. We're doing it, so it's fine. Probably. And hopefully, we won't, hopefully we'll get, like, a decent ending this time. You know, like, what happened, really? Junpei's probably not gonna die again. It's already happened twice. So realistically, I think his odds are pretty good at this point. It's gonna be fine. Let's get it. And let's see if I can be smart. Right, we were in this room. Just the torture room, you know? It's fine. It's fine that this ship has this. A really creepy chair. The manacles make me think it was used to torture people. Yeah, you'd think so. Maybe the circuitry as well? Well, we can't open these manacles without a key. There's some sort of weird symbol on them. Interesting. What kind of symbol? Well, if I got this right, I think it's the sun symbol. Okay. The manacles are still locked in place. Can I look? Am I allowed to look? Personally? Okay, that's fine. There's something on the screen. There's really not. This device will conduct the experiment. Oh. Once the experiment has been completed, the door will unlock. Interesting. First, adjust the switches to match the blocks in the sample above. Huh. I don't know what this thing is, but we gotta figure out this puzzle. It's right next to a torture chair. Whatever it is, I don't think it's good. Anyway, if we just adjust the switches to match the blocks up on top, right? You adjust... Let me see if I can talk today. You adjust the switches shown at the four corners of the screen, then press the check button. Junpei, we don't know what this thing does. You can always come back to it later. There are lots of other things you can do. Hey, Kaminari, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a good day. I already don't like this, actually. So we need to make it all matches, right? Yeah, I'm sure this will be fine. Oh, I think I see what's going on. Just wanna... Is it consistent, like, regardless of the order? Yeah, I think so. So to figure out what each of these does. Okay, individually, this gives us two like L pieces on this side and this side, and then like a 1 and a 2. This one gives us almost the same like little line from each side. This one's just like longer by 1. This one is nearly symmetrical except for this little block right here. This gives us not a ton. Oh, okay, so the combinations... Oh, I think it... Does it, like, add a certain amount? Like, that adds 3... I think that's the case. Yeah, okay, we need to have, like, the same number in each spot. I think it'll stay in the same order regardless. So yeah, now the ones that have, like, a second row have less than 3 on the top. Okay. I'm gonna get out my notebook then. So it should be as easy as keeping track of like how many blocks each of these switches adds to each sector. I would think. I would hope. Okay, switch number 1. adds 1 to the top left, 4 to the top right, 2 to the bottom left, and 4 to the bottom right. Switch number 2. Is there... Oh, no, yeah. I was thinking this one added more than just, like, one singular block over here, but no. Yeah. Switch number 2, axe. Let me see if I can just, like, not mix up my words a little bit. That'd be nice. It adds 3 blocks to the top left, 1 to the top right, 2 to the bottom left, and 3 to the bottom right. Switch number 3 adds 2 to the top left, 0 to the top right, 3 to the bottom left, and 1 to the bottom right. And finally, switch number 4 adds 4 top left, 5 top right, 2 bottom left, and 2 bottom right. So it's some combination that totals out to the same never sector. The maximum any spot can have in it is 5 in the top right. Or wait. Well, if we combine... Oh no, never mind. This one? Yeah, it adds nothing to the top right. So, oh yeah, okay. Maximum in any spot is 9. Or 10, apparently. Misremembered. But yeah, alternatively, then, the maximum, any specific block adds is 5. And we want to get the top to match the bottom. Let's see here. Theoretically, we could have 10 in these two, but we can only have 9 in the left side. The solution has a max of 9 on the left side and a max of 10 on the right. And I feel like we are actually gonna hit that number. Because I don't think they would add, they wouldn't have that possibility if it wasn't gonna come up. And it looks like switches number 1 and 2 and 4, if you have all of them turned on, it should have 10 on the right for both sides. Nope. Oh, yeah. You would need a switch. So probably not then. It's probably just like potential overflow you could have, but you can actually... that's not actually going to be in the actual solution, so... Alright. In that case... Yeah, I mean, obviously, then we're shooting for under that amount, because there's only one switch that adds 0 anywhere, and that's switch number 3, and it's only on the top. Ooh, what would be useful is to see, like, the minimum that any side can have, and then the maximum. The right side can have a minimum of 1 block if you have just switch number 2 turned on. The left side can have a minimum of 1... okay, so it's same Z's. It's same Z's. Oh no, right side can have a minimum of 0. Not that you'd want that. Oh wait, no, I wasn't considering the bottom halves as well. Left side can have 1 at the top, but bottom's bottom out at 2, because switches number 1, 2, and 4 all add 2 blocks to the bottom left little sector there. Meanwhile, the top right, minimum 0, bottom right, minimum 1. Although I don't think it's going to be the minimum, but that might be useful to consider. So, just to consider which... it might be useful to consider which switch combinations have the same amount on, like, one side at a time, just to see. Because, let's see here. 1 and 2 both result in there being 4 on the left. So I'll write that down real fast. And they're not symmetrical on the other side, obviously. So that can't work. We want... I think we want to use the 3. Because being able to not add one... not add anything to one of the sides seems useful. Because you can add a little bit to all the other little sectors there. Figure it out. I feel like I probably shouldn't be doing this early on, but like... also... I think I could do it. Probably. Maybe. I mean, there's a maximum of 4 we can have on at any given time. So that's... not a ton of combinations to consider. Not that I want to completely brute force it. Because that's less fun. Well... assuming... so I'm gonna do 7 on the top left. Can I... because 4, 2, and 1 would get that there. Yeah, switches number 1, 3, and 4 add up to having 7 over there. The problem is I can only... yeah, I need 2 more on the bottom right, and there's nothing that, like... adds that while keeping everything else even. It feels too simple, but... like, to be able to solve this with just, like, combinations of 4 switches without having any other input. It does work, though, otherwise. A lot of these are, like, combinations of, like, numbers that would add up to 4, which might be notable. And there's a lot of, like, 1s and 3s and 2s on opposing sides to one another, so it's like... This is something. Okay, so... one thing... potentially. I don't think I can, under any circumstances, combine 1 and 4. I don't think. Well, possibly. Yeah, okay, so, because, like, if you combine 1 and 4, top right is already total at 9, and the bottom right is total at 6. So you'd want to add, 3 more to the bottom right, which you can do by adding the 2, which brings the top right up to 10. Yeah, okay, so, like, and we know we can't have it go up all the way to 10. Okay, so 1 and 4 can't be combined in any of these solutions. Just to show my work a bit, so you get, like, such a high total here, and anything that you try and do to, like, solve it either isn't enough, or is, it, like, ruins it, so... Here's one thought, at least. Yeah, 1 and 4 don't work. It's gonna be one or the other. One or the other. So there's one thing. And if you can't have both, the maximum, then, that it's gonna be for the right side is 6, with 2 and 4. Is there anything that would add... That works. Not for this, obviously, but... Ish. But yeah, okay. So, maximum for the right side is 6. Is there anything like that for the left side? Because that does make it a lot easier. Let's see. If you combine 2 and 4, you get a 7. And I'm not sure... Turn that on the actual screen so I can see it in action. 2 and 4, you get a 7 here. So obviously you'd want to add 3 more to make the left or the bottom left work. Meanwhile, 1 and 3. 3 does add. Ooh. Hey, nope. I wasn't looking at this part at all. Never mind. That felt so good. And then I used my eyes a little better. Yeah, okay. So 2 and 4 gives you 7 over here. You need 3 in order to make that all total up. And you can't turn them all on at the right, yeah, at the same time. So it's gonna be either 1 or 4 if anything makes that work. And 1, yeah, we already know we can't use that with 4. So it would have to be. What? What? I was like, I went to look at the hint. Wait, has this entire time, whenever you turn on one of these switches, more blocks show up on the screen. So I think you gotta figure out which buttons you have to press in order to get the screen to match the diagram. Yeah, but it's hard to figure out what button does what. You want to figure out, if you want to see how many blocks each switch adds, just turn on one switch. When all of them are off, there aren't any blocks, right? Then you can see how many each switch adds. Oh yeah, I get it. This entire time! It's been in hint? I usually associate hint with, oh, you need some help. If you need like a little extra help, go here. So I avoid it every time. I didn't think it'd be like the thing I have to do to make the thing I actually have to look at to solve the puzzle. What? It didn't even show me like when I went in, what you would think. Okay, cool. Never mind. The thing I have to, yeah, exactly. Right? This entire time I thought the puzzle was something entirely different. Cool. Well, I'm just a fool. This makes it a lot simpler. Because, there's only one way we can get the, top right to 10. And that's if we turn on 1, 2, and 4. Goddamn. And is that literally it? Is that the entire puzzle? Here, I thought this was like a big brain puzzle. Somehow, despite that there's only 4 buttons. I was like, damn, how is this so hard? Okay, maybe I should stop being stubborn and actually look at the hints. Cause sometimes it's not a hint. Yeah, watermelon. It was like, I was thinking like, no, there's only 16 possible combinations, so it can't be that hard. But why is it so hard? Helps to... I thought I did read it properly, though. I just had... Oh, yeah, true. And I suppose, like, order doesn't matter, which is another thing, which takes away a lot of possible options. I just have a different understanding of the word hint in a puzzle game. I just think of it in the latent way, where it's like, consider this, and I don't want that. Place subject and chair, cool. Whoa, I thought we solved the puzzle already. What does it mean by preparation? I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think this means one of us has to sit in the chair. Well, 7's never gonna fit in that thing. It's either you or me, Junpei. Collecting data. I wonder if it's gonna run electricity through the subject. There's a human head on the screen. Maybe it's gonna zap the brain with a little electricity? This really doesn't sound safe. Anyway, we still got to prepare. We can talk about this after we figured out what it means by preparation, alright? Well, it wants us to prepare, so maybe we ought to ask what it need. Yep. Let me, maybe read before I talk. Maybe we ought to ask it what we need to do. Disposal task is closed. Interesting. Please fill tank with water. What tank? Oh man. Don't tell me we ought to do something with a water tank. Well, there's probably something around here to open the tank, or whatever it's asking us to do. Looks like the only controls are in this room. Man, I'm disappointed now! That's a way less interesting puzzle! The whole thing I had in my head... These levers have got to turn something on. Of course they would. All they can do is turn something on or off. What's important is what they turn on or off. Don't say the floor is going to suddenly open up. There are a bunch of buttons here with the letters A through F on them. I wonder if they do anything. Down you go! So if I press it again, back you come. I guess these buttons switch something on or off when you push them. Yeah, no shit. There are a ton of knobs here. Doesn't seem like any of them do anything, though. Do you think it's broken? I can see some oil or something down there at the base of the lever. Yeah, feels like it's got some movement to it. I should be able to pull this one. Alright, let's pull the lever. Is that water? What the hell? What's going on? Will you calm down? It's just water going somewhere. It sounds like it's underneath us. That means the floor. Oh! Junpei, look! What's she? Oh, damn! I can see through the glass now. EDBF, cool! There are a couple of letters in the color of blood written on the shark's belly. I suppose that is the shark. It's dead. Looks like the letters are E, D, B, and F. Whatever these are for has got to be in this room somewhere. Ed Boof. You know. Looks like this catwalk goes across about half of the room. I think it's made so that... I think it's made like that so you can get around without standing on the floor. Like there's gonna be maybe, I don't know, water or electricity or something. I'm so sorry, Anna. That's never happened before. I thought there was a hole here, but I guess it's got a cover over it. You aren't gonna be able to get that off. It's bolted on there pretty good. Maybe there's something around here we can use to get that thing off of there. Can you see anything in there? If you can't see anything, I don't really think we need to bother with trying to open it. It's too dark to see anything. Huh? Did I see something shiny in there? Something shiny for me? Ooh, for me? Well, we know what to use. Let's see. We've got an adze and a hammer, a pair of forceps, and these other things are too old and broken. I have no idea what they are. Hey, doesn't this wrench look way too new to be here with all this other stuff? Yes, it does. I didn't notice it before you mentioned it, but it's not rusty at all. Neat. Well, I don't know what we'd be using that for. Not at all. Nothing else to look at unless... What's this thing over here? I won't worry about it. These stairs go to the exit. Should be able to get those bolts off with this wrench we just found, though. Sweet, it's open. Oh yeah, I suppose you wouldn't need to take off the last one since it just... The hole's too small. You can't see in, even with the cover off. Well, you can't see in, but I think there's enough room to stick your arm in. Oh, that's smaller than I thought it was. Are you sure you want to do that? There could be something dangerous in there. Okay, I admit. That scares me a little. But we need to see if there's anything useful in there. Mystery box! Alright, here we go. Arm into the hole. Hey, I think I can feel something. It's small, cold, and hard. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in there. Alright, let's see what this thing is. The sun key! We know what that's for. The sun key should fit in the keyhole on those manacles. Alright, sun key, in you go. And yes! Great, they're open. I don't think we're gonna need the sun key again in here, though. Just seems unlikely. Alright, sun key, you've done your job. Into my pocket with you. Dramatic. Error, cannot communicate with external hardware. Check connection and power source. External hardware. That must mean the chair. After all, there's all these cables running between them. I don't see a power source for the chair, though. You think maybe it's controlled from somewhere else? Looks like the only controls are in this room. There's a whole lot of cables coming out of that thing. It's really kind of a mess. I can barely tell which is which. That's bad. Bad cable management. Also, there's ball and chain over here? Red, yellow. You think these colors mean something? No idea. I mean, red looks more dangerous, but other than that... Oh, right, the numbers, the letters. The bottom of this one looks like it's covered in rust. I don't think it'll move at all. EDBF. What? There's a strange noise coming from the chair. Looks like it's been turned on. I guess the puzzle here was that the power had to be sent in a specific way. What next? The restraining device is unlocked. Please keep subject in device. The message on the screen was disturbingly detached. I feel like this is leading to a bad end.
Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it.
How ironic that this would be the situation in which this slim, beautiful body is useful.
Are you really gonna do this?
Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it and you can solve.
Junpei's right. If we screw it up...
Seven couldn't bring himself to finish the thought. His eyes fell to the floor. Junpei followed them. Beneath them was the dead shark, floating underneath the glass. Perhaps it had been killed by an electric shock.
I'll be fine. Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead.
But...
Not the problem!
No one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair too, you know. I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen and let's get this over with.
After her words had made it clear that Lotus would book no argument. Is that supposed to be Brooke? She turned and walked toward the chair without hesitation. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook.
Look, do you think you could do me one last favor?
Don't say last.
You're making me nervous.
Just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters.
Your daughters? You have kids?
Tell them that I loved them very much.
You might want to give us names.
No. Tell them that I will always love them.
Daughters?
You've got kids?
Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei.
That's surprising.
They're twins. I had them when I was young after... well, some things happened. Their names are Nona and...
Oh, fuck.
Wait, Nona?
Junpei's words shot out before he even realized what he was saying. He remembered the story Seven had told him.
Aoi, Light, and Nona.
Uh-oh.
Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment.
So that's another connection to the experiment here. Because, okay, obviously Seven. Now her kid, well, one of her kids at the very least was involved. One of them died. One of the kids died. Was it the other twin?
But what the hell? What's wrong with you?
Lotus took a step back from Junpei.
Oh.
Seven looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly, as if he weren't sure you were completely awake.
No way. It couldn't. Lotus, is your last name Kashiwabara?
I'm gonna write that down. I feel like that's gonna be important. Lotus's eyes went wide.
How do you know that?
Are you serious?
Good guess.
What the hell is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom.
That kid? Wait, what do you mean that kid?
Yeah, like, at this point, I think we're all just like, you know, we're deep enough in this.
Why are you acting like you've met her?
Seven's brow furrowed.
I have.
What?
Yeah, I met one of your kids.
When?
9 years ago.
Not enough to, yeah, that's the thing, like, here's my kids' names, but not my, like, even my first name.
Where?
On this ship.
Why were you...
It's not a short story.
Look, I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please, what happened here?
Fine, I'll tell you.
Seven glanced at Junpei, then turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei had heard only minutes before, every detail.
But... And then...
And then...
That was when. From there, it looked like... Just as if, finally... That's all I remember from 9 years ago.
At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head.
Oh my god. Everything I've been looking for the last 9 years. The person who had all the answers was right here.
Looking for?
Yes, that's right. 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. Then 9 days later, they came back.
Oh, that's interesting.
They never told me what happened to them over those 9 days.
Oh, fuck. I had this whole theory. Okay, hold on. I had this whole theory that, like, somehow June must have been involved in that incident, because Junpei and June, Akane, were the same age as all those kids. And it seemed like, I mean, they hadn't met in 9 years, which, like, obviously, you know, they probably went to different schools and blah, 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 blah. But, like, it seemed weird that they'd been so close. I mean, like, that happens with school friends, but also... it feels like she's hiding something. So I think she was one of those kids. Obviously not one of the ones named, but there are 16 of them. There are 16, one was Nona, Aoi, Light, and one of them, at least one of them died.
I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt in any way. Still, I was sure that they had been through something terrible, so I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. If I did, then I'd force them to relive whatever horrors they'd been through. I didn't have any choice. I had to try and ignore it and move on.
Oh.
A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they always had, before they disappeared. They smiled and made jokes and did all the silly things kids do. It got harder and harder for me to ask them about what happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there was no way I could do it. But I'm still a mother. I couldn't simply forget that something terrible had happened to my children. So I decided I would investigate what happened on my own. I would find out what happened during those 9 missing days.
What did you find out?
Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Once the 16 children who'd gone missing came back, things were just...
They came back? I was certain there's something mentioned about someone, one of them getting killed?
Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured someone was probably paying or threatening them to keep their mouths shut.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals. No, probably something even bigger than that.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Have you heard of them before?
No. It's the first time I've ever heard that name. 7. How did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceuticals was connected to the kidnappings in the first place?
I figured finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does.
What did they have in common?
There's no good cops, but go on, sure. 16. Oh. Shit, you're right, though. There's 2 more kids that weren't accounted for.
Every single one of the kids who disappeared had gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital was one of a bunch that were under the control of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. After that, it was just about connecting the dots.
The hospital.
The hospital.
For a while, I was trying to
The
get
hospital.
some kind of information out of the kids at the hospital. One of them told a weird story.
What was it?
Have you heard about the Gansfeld Experiment?
Huh?
I guess all these kids had to go through it while they were at the hospital.
Interesting.
I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling.
What did you call it again?
Oh, the Gansfeld Experiment.
Have you been through it, Junpei?
This is how it's set up. First, subjects Q and A are put into separate rooms, far away from one another. Then a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them. Subject A, on the other hand, is put in a large reclining chair, given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what images Q is looking at.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
Ah.
It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It sounds like vaguely familiar.
That's how the experiment on this ship was supposed to work.
The experiment to control people, right?
Yeah. I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists, but maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceuticals bought into it.
Is that related to the puzzle we just solved? 7 had been thinking hard for the last several minutes and finally spoke.
Even if that is the case, I still don't get how that has anything to do with any of this. The notary game, Zero, why we were kidnapped. What does any of that have to do with telepathy? I know I brought all this up, but I have no idea.
We are being asked to solve a lot of puzzles, which is like the kind of thing you would do when you're testing people. Granted, these are ones we can solve in a single room by collaborating with one another, but like...
Maybe none of this stuff is connected after all.
In theory, the technology that was used to build these puzzles could have been repurposed from that kind of thing. Then, in that moment of silence, a cold voice echoed down from the ceiling.
No subject has been detected. Unless a subject is detected within 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour.
Yeah, imagine the shark is alive again.
If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat subject in the restraining device.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going.
Oh, no, that's not what we...
Just hurry up and get it over with. Junpei, I'm counting on you.
Your other kid's name,
Right.
please. Lotus sat down on the chair. Junpei looked at her one last time, then made his way to the monitor.
Lotus, please, tell me right away if you feel anything weird.
You worry too much. Now get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you.
Lotus was putting on the best act she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much that if she hadn't been sitting, she likely would have fallen down.
Lotus.
Failure was not acceptable.
Okay, let's do this.
Junpei took one last deep breath and stared at the monitor. I see. Cool. Okay. We need to make the like the little L at the top left. That line pointy. Is it different? Okay, hold on. Top left. Both. It seems to, yeah, okay, it's adding that much. I wonder if there's any impact on the other side. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to write this shit down. Let's see here. Top side 1 on this side of the head. It's 1 up top, 2 down bottom. Top side 2, 1 up top, 1 up bottom. Then the bottom side. Adds 1 up top, nothing up bottom. For number 1. And then evensies for top option. And then if we flip to the other side. Oh, right, I should turn these off first. This adds 2 for number 1, 2 and nothing. Wait. Is it the same? No. Weird. So is it... Okay. Yeah, we have top side 1 turned on. Then that adds 2 down bottom, nothing up top. Is it really like that? Is it really... Is it really gonna be like this? Where I have to flip back and forth all the time? That's a little... I don't like that. One does nothing, 2 adds 1 and 1. Or, not looking at the right side. 2 adds 0 and 1. And then 1 adds 2 and 1. Okay. 81 possibilities. This is the difficulty I was looking for, baby. Let's see. So, anybody can add 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 upside, 3 on the bottom, I think. Yeah, if I turn 1 on here, and then, heyo. Yeah, of course it needs to be at the same time. Like, I knew, but... It's gonna be a nightmare. Alright, so this one, I need to... I'm also gonna write down the solution for this. And this one is 7 up top and 6 down bottom. And on this side, turning on this one gives 2 and nothing. And... Huh? Same and same. And... Nothing, and then 1 and 1. This is so much. You're really gonna make me think about all this at the same time? Man. Although we can narrow it down. If we just figure out the solutions for one side, like all the potential ones, we can narrow it down a lot. For figuring out the other side, maybe? That might be doing too much work though, I don't know. Either way, if we figure out anything that like causes there to be too many lit up on this side, we know it's not right at the very least, so there's that. Yeah, so that's 2 up top, 3 down bottom. And then this is just 1 and 0. My notes for this are a mess, less you'd out. Trial or error, all 80 possibilities. I'm sure that'd go by pretty fast. 1 is 2 and 2. And 2 is 1 and 2. Well, this is a bit of a nightmare. So this one though, let me turn this off real fast. This seems like the better starting point just because there's larger numbers to fill out. I will say, the fact that there's like a limited amount of blocks for the bottom part that's like less than the top, I should be able to overflow this one and not have to worry about it. So as long as it's greater or equal than 6. Anything like that on the side? No. Alright, but making 7... We're gonna need to have quite a bit turned on. Looking at it... On the left side, we have pass switch type 1 and 2, which can add 2 either way. So I think... Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna need to have this switch turned on no matter what in order to get to 7 here. So this one's like a guarantee. And it's the same either way. Because it's both of these do the same thing on this side. Literally, the difference is just whatever that does for the left side of the head. So yeah, that one's definitely flipped on. So at least we eliminated something. And oh, okay. Because the only way to get that all the way up to 7 is to have literally all of them turned on in some combination. I think. Because let's take a look here. Yeah, if I want to do 1. There we go. Yeah, we want both of those on 1. And then you on just something. We can figure out what specifically later. Let's just flip it then. Yeah, literally... That's the only way. The difference is just, whether the... this one right here is 1 or 2. Because where are we at right now? Okay. And the difference there is it's either a 2 up top, 1 down bottom, or 0 up top, 2 down bottom. And I think, given what we've turned on right now, I'm just gonna circle those on my personal little notepad here. What we turned on right now, it should, once we, ignoring the 1 switch we don't know yet. All the guarantees, at least. I mean, there's really only 2 options at this point. Objectively. But there's a part of me that wanted to, like, logic that out. But the more I did it, more I was like, yeah, I really don't need to be. But yeah, if you tilted that up, it would be... You would end up with, yeah, needing 2 more on the top and 1 more on the bottom. The experiment has concluded. The door will now unlock. I can hear the door unlocking. Now I've got a new message. Release subject from restraining device. Lotus, are you alright? Yes, I am. I'm glad nothing bad happened, but I do think my life got a little shorter. Hold on, I'll get you out right away. Just from the shock. Well, I suppose... Better to be this kind of shock and not the other option. Shouldn't take long for 7 and me to get her out of there. Let's get out of here now. Being a guinea pig is not for me. Damn straight. I don't ever want to see this thing again. We did it!
hallway
that
goes
easy.
to the left.
Yeah, but I don't see any doors.
Guess we just need to keep going.
Right. Let's go.
It turned left twice before they saw the elevator.
An elevator.
Just what we need. Let's take this to C deck.
In silence, they jogged up to it. I don't personally remember why they need to get to C deck. I think just to meet up with everyone. The elevator motor ground away, and before long they found themselves once again on C deck. The door opened and they stepped off. Oh, right, because Clover, in theory, should be here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Junpei, Lotus, and Seven nodded at one another and took off running down the long hallway in front of them. They ran and ran and ran. The hallway seemed endless.
I know where we need to go. The door behind the central staircase. There's
Oh.
a sun symbol on the keyhole of that door.
Duh.
And I happen to have the sun key in my pocket right now. This should open that door.
That was why they ran for the central staircase. They had run for quite some time when they arrived at the door that ended the hallway. The Jupiter door was already unlocked.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Junpei grabbed a hold of the doorknob and threw it open. They rushed through. And stopped cold. The terrible scene before them made their blood run cold. 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood.
Why?
Junpei felt the cold sweat trickle down his spine, and you know who's the only one left? Hey, June! What'd you do, buddy? He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold. Deathly cold. So here's my theory. Clover killed these two and tried to kill June, but she killed Clover. But his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think. He couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank.
What the hell? What the hell happened?
Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged toward the bodies, his movements stiff.
Clover.
He bent down over Clover and pressed his fingers to her wrist.
Nothing. She's dead.
Can't believe it. Freddy did this. Suddenly, Lotus moved. Before he understood what was happening, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket.
Hey, what are you doing?
He leapt back. Lotus looked up at him,
The
terrified.
key! Get me the sun key!
Why?
Why do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back!
The murderer?
The murderer. The murderer. Once again, Junpei looked at the dead bodies.
Santa, Clover, and Ace. 3 people, 3 dead bodies.
You're about to realize it, buddy.
That means that the person who had killed them was...
Uh-oh.
No. No, it can't be true.
Unless it is.
Give it to me!
Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove back into his pocket and came out with the key.
Let's go!
Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door.
Open!
Guess who's gonna be on the other side? Lotus shoved the sun key into the keyhole and twisted it hard. But
Why?
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock.
Oh no. Is it the wrong key?
I don't know. Maybe.
Lotus sighed, defeated, and leaned against the doorknob. She felt it twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame. There's a chair on the other side or something.
It's open.
What the hell is this?
Wait, you mean the door was already unlocked?
Why?
How would I know that? Whatever, let's just go.
Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door the rest of the way. Feels bad! They stepped inside. In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out toward the bow of the ship. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. They were all breathing heavily as Junpei spoke.
What the hell is this door? I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or switch or lever or card reader or anything.
I mean, this looks like you could maybe rip it.
How the fuck are we supposed to open this?
We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back.
Yeah, like, it's a door, buddy, I don't know.
No, I'm not going back there. There is a murderer back there.
Not anymore, there isn't. There was more stark terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging.
But I don't see any other doors.
As he spoke, Seven stepped toward the door in front of them, as if to illustrate that it was the only door. It's just motion activated.
No way.
It opened by itself.
It's an automatic door?
Look, guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this. The other doors were already unlocked, and this one's automatic. We haven't seen anything like this before.
So let's go explore, right? Let's go explore. How could their situation possibly get worse? 3 people were already dead.
We've hit bottom. This can't get any worse. Shit!
Hey, Junpei!
He stepped through the door.
I can't take this anymore. No one can.
But you gotta solve more puzzles, buddy! And whatever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared.
No. It's a lie. It's gotta be. This can't be real. No. It's impossible. If it's a dream, just wake up already. Someone please tell me it's all just a joke. I'm imagining things. Yep, that's it. This is all obviously a lie.
He is coping!
It's a big, elaborate trick. An illusion or something. Or a dream. It's made up.
It wasn't real, right? June. No, the code names meant nothing now. Connie.
Connie!
Cool. Very cool. Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest.
Connie, hang on!
Junpei swept her up and shook her by the shoulder. She moaned, and her eyes fluttered open, but only barely.
Connie!
This seems dangerous! Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted his hand up. It was covered in blood.
Oh man. Connie, there's so much blood. What the hell happened to you? How did this happen?
It was all he could do not to break into tears.
I'm sorry.
Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with him.
I might not make it.
No way I am going to let you die. I am gonna save you, I promise.
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much. For everything.
She's about to stab him.
I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You just gotta hang on. Alright, Connie? You Oh, what can I do? Damn it!
He looked up from Connie, desperate for something, anything.
What's that?
A little yellow submarine. Then he saw it. A small submarine.
Submarine? What on earth is a submarine doing here?
No, that didn't matter. Nothing mattered except saving Connie. That was the only thing he wanted.
That's it!
Junpei turned his head back down, to look down at her.
Hang on, alright? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna go see if it works.
No, don't go. Please, don't go. Please, just stay with me, okay? I want to be close to you, Jumpy. When
Connie.
Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I liked you for a long time, Junpei.
This is a trap.
A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame.
Jumpy, do you remember? We hung out a lot when we were kids. We went to the pool and to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school?
Hey, Elegy! We're going through it right now, but we're having a good night.
They're all memories I'll never forget. All of those moments are treasures to me.
I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I also wanted to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now.
No. I mean, yes. Yes, it will happen. We'll go all sorts of places, Connie. You hear me? I promise. We'll go wherever you want.
Really?
Yeah, really. I swear.
That makes me happy. Really happy.
She said it to herself over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face.
Jumpy, I feel sleepy.
Oh boy.
No, Connie, don't fall asleep.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much.
Such a melody. Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed, even as he felt his throat go hoarse.
Connie! Connie! Connie!
Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Connie's body. He cried and cried until he had no more tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained, but only as an empty shell. Somewhere, he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. We're out of time, aren't we? I think we've got one more hour. It rang 5 times, then faded.
5 o'clock.
Quietly, softly, gently, he set Connie down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize that Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? Slowly, he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign that they had ever been there. Hey, Cossack, thank you for the host. Good to see you. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly, he made his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart with a sound like grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. I don't know what I expected at this point. His heart rattled in his chest. An empty, lifeless thing. It had been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel. When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea of blood. 2 bodies lay in it. There was no need to check. There was no breath left in them. His eyes lit on Lotus's wrist. Her bracelet. It was gone. He stared. It meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He couldn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. A part of him knew that the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Tears poured from his eyes in great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around, the door opened again, and slowly, numbly, he walked through. He kept walking. Why stop? An object set in motion, simple inertia carried him forward. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And then he was floating in water. It feels like he'd be more likely to just, like, bonk his head on it, I don't know. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who? One dead body lay behind door number 5. The body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room. The body of Snake. The central staircase were 3 more. Ace, Santa, and Clover. Just outside the door were 2 corpses. Those of Seven and Lotus. And in this very room lay the body that had once been Connie. And now Junpei would join them. Who then had killed them all? Who? Junpei let out one last breath. Faintly, he felt the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded quickly, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of the water. Killed by 0! Cool. So that was a cool ending. I don't know what the fuck happened. And why would 0 do that? Yeah, like, that's the thing, though. It's like, why would he just suddenly, like, kill them and, like, end the game right there? My thinking is that something went wrong with the other group. Or they were figuring out too much.
I'm a gnome, and you've been...
Speak for the gnome. Because we found out, like, what had been happening. The gnome ending. So true. We found out what had been happening on the ship previously, and, like, slowly been figuring out why we were all here. And it's possible he didn't like that. Alternatively, one of the others did something very wrong. Yeah, also, someone was possibly faking. Cause, like, they check Clover's body. We know for a fact that, well, we know for a fact that, Connie died. The end. Or is it? So true. Yeah, the bracelets. Only Lotus. It was noted that Lotus's bracelet wasn't on anymore. So yeah, we know for a fact that Lotus and Clover are dead. I don't think, like, I'm pretty sure, Connie was, like, actually dead, because, like, it's not like she was laying in a puddle of someone else's blood there. Maybe they swapped bodies, so true, LG. This really is just the prequel to, AI the Somnium Files. We all die by yellow submarine, so true. Well, That's exciting. Now... Now... I mean, I thought I understood what the red and, white marks meant. Oh, actually, oh, I see. I think the red ones are like the major things, and the white ones are like minor. But I've unlocked this, so we can do this now. We can go through the other door. I think what I'd done the first time, although it's gonna show me which one I picked, was I objected to what we decided.
I thought we were finished with that topic.
So let's just go along with it this time. And go through door 4. We know the answer to that. Door 4 is fine.
I'll go through door 4 with Lotus, Santa, and June. There's nothing to worry about. I just need to stay by her side.
June. Akane Kuroshiki.
This should be fine. It's no problem this way. I should see the other 4 off.
He made no shows of affection, but Junpei saw her as something more than just a friend from his childhood.
Looks like Ace and the others are going.
He watched the other 4 walk toward the door. Ace, Snake, Clover, and 7. Clover's gonna have to see a body. Junpei said nothing as they left. Before long, they had reached door 5. They talked to one another for a few seconds, saying things Junpei couldn't hear, then laid their hands one by one on the scanner panel of the red.
Now then.
Ace grabbed the lever. His face tight with determination, he turned over his shoulder to look at Junpei and his companions.
Goodbye.
Be careful.
As Ace pulled the lever, the door swung open, the mouth of a great hungry beast.
So horrible.
Beyond the door, Junpei knew, lay the sad remains of the 9th man. It did not surprise him that Ace, Clover, and 7 hesitated. The body was not a pleasant thing.
What are you doing? We need to hurry.
Snake had no such problems, as his blindness made him immune to the horror. He stepped through the door, his feet making a wet splash in the pool of blood.
Snake, your shoes.
It's fine. Hurry! Or are you planning on dying with everyone else? I assume you haven't forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you?
Sorry, Snake.
It's been less than 9 seconds.
Let's go.
The 3 remaining steeled themselves and stepped through the door. Took 9 seconds to have that conversation. Door 5 swung shut, closing with the heavy finality of metal upon metal. Junpei and his companions scrambled to the door.
Hey! How is it over there? Did you find anything? Please say something, will you?
Something's beeping.
It's just like before.
Probably the sound of the detonator on the bracelet.
Do you think they're okay?
Well, I know. But... June's face showed her concern more plainly than her words ever could. Almost as though in response to her question, a voice rang out from the other side of the door. It was 7.
Hey, there it is! That's gotta be that dead thing! Come on, get over here! We gotta authenticate!
The beeping stopped.
The sighs of relief were audible even through the heavy door.
Looks like it stopped.
Junpei and his companions leaned away from the door and breathed a collective sigh of relief of their own.
Hey, guys! Are you doing alright over there?
They'd heard Seven's voice, but it wouldn't hurt to be sure.
Yes, we're fine.
This'll be two-factor authentication in the future, Sojuru. It's extra secure. Despite the recent danger, Clover's voice is as bubbly as ever. As bubbly as ever, huh?
Oh, hey, I'm gonna tell you about this whole dead thing, okay? The dead is just like the red, but the color's different. You know how the red was red?
Yeah, you know the red was red.
Well, the dead is blue. Other than that, it's just like the red. Authenticating is the same too.
Awesome! Thanks. That helps a lot.
Well, we should probably move on now. You be careful out there.
Roger that.
Time to go through door 4. Junpei and the others left door 5 and headed toward door 4.
Now it's our turn. I'll go first.
They stood in front of the red and placed each of their hands on it. Four asterisks appeared on the screen. Junpei grabbed the lever and turned around.
Okay, we ready? Yeah.
Sure.
Let's go.
Yeah, the doors just suck. They're fucked. None of them looked particularly optimistic, but their faces were set. Junpei nodded to them and turned back towards the red.
All right, let's go.
With strength and determination, he pulled the lever. What could happen?
Run!
The four of them leapt through the door together. The moment they had passed through it, each heard a cold electronic sound coming from their left wrist.
Oh, damn.
In the center of each bracelet, a red skull appeared and began to flash.
It's counting down.
The detonator's countdown had begun. In the long moment that each of them had spent staring at the wrists, the numbered door behind them closed, the sound of metal on metal reverberating down the hallway.
We can't go back!
We need to hurry and find the device.
Hey! Where the hell is the dead?
How would I know?
Don't give me that crap! Start looking!
I already am!
They began to run, eyes looking frantically for the device as the key to their salvation. The hallway they found themselves running down was a long one, easily 300 feet in length. On the right side of it stood a series of wooden doors, all nearly identical. If they had taken time to think, they would have likely have discerned that the doors led to cabins.
Don't tell me the dead is in one of those rooms.
Oh no! How many rooms do you think there are?
Junpei was too frightened to count properly, but at his best guess there were probably 7 or 8 of them.
Ah, fuck! We don't have time to count.
Junpei ran to the nearest door.
We just need to open them all.
He grabbed the knob and shook it hard.
It won't open.
It didn't feel locked, more like someone had hammered an iron plate over this other side of the door. Junpei turned around to find another door and saw that his companions had already run to doors of their own. They did not seem to be having any more success than he had. Their own words confirmed his fears.
Shit, this one's no good.
Same here.
What's the problem? It narrows it down.
It's not moving!
Jun was the last to speak up. Only got a minute and a half, guys! As Junpei looked in her direction, his eye caught something he hadn't noticed before. A small red blinking
There
light.
it is, at the end of the hallway. Run!
Even as he yelled, he ran. He grabbed Santa and Lotus and June and pulled them toward the light. Santa called out to them as he ran.
Hey, how many more seconds do we have?
How would I know?
Our time limit is 81 seconds!
I know that, goddammit! I'm asking you how many seconds we have left!
In all likelihood, Junpei figured nearly a minute had already passed since the door had closed behind them. What? That takes 9 seconds to happen. If that was true. Urgency foremost in all of their minds, they arrived at the end of the hallway. The dead sat on the left wall, blinking almost tauntingly at them.
Hurry! It's the dead! Get over here!
Lines that are said in both Zero Escape and every zombie movie. Junpei grabbed hold of the machine, his hands slick with sweat and shaking. He slammed his hand against the scanner panel.
Come on, everyone!
The other three quickly followed suit. With a grunt, Santa yanked the lever downward.
Looks like it stopped.
His hands beginning to steady, Junpei wiped away some of the sweat that had beaded on his forehead. As they caught their breath, the four companions began to look around.
There's another door at the end of the hallway.
He could see a heavy-looking set of double doors. Set into the walls of the hallway on either side of the larger door were two smaller ones.
Let's try this one first. And of course it won't open.
How many times had he come across similar doors with similar results, he wondered. Or perhaps he corrected himself, more a lack of results. Whatever the reason, the door remained firm and unyielding, and refused to allow Junpei or anyone else passage.
A keyhole.
Above the keyhole was a small symbol engraved in the brass.
What's this mark? Mail?
He wasn't quite sure what to make of it, and stared at it for a moment in confusion. So true, just use an X! It's that easy. It was June that corrected him.
No, not exactly. That's probably the symbol of Mars.
And they give her the Hydra and the Stretch Cossack.
Well, technically, they are the same symbol, but I saw a number of similar symbols near the main stairway. The symbols of the solar system.
Oh, that's right. The Sun, Saturn, and Earth.
Ugh. Stretch.
At least that's what I'm assuming.
So this isn't the man symbol. It's a symbol for Mars?
I think so, yes.
I see. Wait, where's Santa?
While Junpei and June talked, Santa had disappeared. They turned to find him some distance down the hallway. He had gone to check the other doors. Eventually, he reached the last of them and jogged back. It took him only a moment to catch his breath again.
Yeah, so, I looked the place over. Here's the deal. None of the other doors open.
Then that must mean...
We only have 2 more doors.
Lotus examined the doors on either side of the larger double-sided door. Each one had a metal plate attached to it.
Maybe it's the room number.
Maybe it's the room number? I think...
The door on the left has a B92.
I think we can be certain about that.
And the one on the right says B93. Alright, let's open them. I'll open B92.
Okay, I'll get B93 then.
Junpei put his hand on the doorknob, and Santa moved to the other door. They made it through the numbered door alive. There was nothing more to be afraid of. Junpei and Santa looked at each other and nodded.
1, 2, 3!
In unison, they pushed against their respective doors, and promptly found themselves in a new room. June followed Junpei as he threw open his door. They turned around and saw that the door on the other side was open as well. Through the door was another person, his mouth agape. It was Santa.
Hey, it opened.
Yeah, it did.
Junpei and Santa looked at each other.
I didn't expect that.
It was so easy.
Lotus's calm voice broke into their thoughts.
Maybe this is all part of Zero's plan. I can't say I enjoy being treated like someone's puppet.
As she headed for room 93, Lotus continued.
Well, now we have these 2 rooms. I'm sure there's something in there that will help us get out of here. Let's find it. Santa and I will search this room. You 2 take the other one.
All right.
Okay.
Like the close-up on the tile. Very useful. Alright, room 92. That vase looks expensive. I wonder how much we could get for it. Are you gonna seal it? Was that a yes? Lulem-san, thank you for the White Valentine. Or for the happy White Valentine. You as well. Thank you for stopping by. This is kind of a weird looking picture. Do you think it's an abstract painting or something? It looks kind of like a demon with an elephant-like nose, sucking on a human being's brain. Where the hell did that come from? What's her brain made of? Can't say I'd mind finding out a little more about what goes on in there. Looks like there's a room on the right side of this picture. Oh. So there is. Ah. That's the bathroom wall. There are square tiles all over it. It's just a shower head. There's nothing special about it. Yeah, you know, fair enough. That's the shower knob. Let's see if anything happens when we turn it. No water's coming out. There's a little blue platform protruding from the shower wall next to the knobs. It's for putting soap on. I used a shower once, so I know. Good work, Junpei. Now, let's check the toilet. There's nothing there. The tank's empty, too. There isn't even any water in it. The toilet is completely dry. Nothing fun? A collection of full and partially depleted rolls of toilet paper. Someone was well prepared. There's nothing too suspicious about it. Nothing fun to do over here, man. It's a shower head. It feels dry, too. That probably means no one has used it in a long time. Are we in the shower? I guess we are. Yeah. Why don't we go back to the living room? Okay. Let's go back. Matches! Junpei looked down blankly at what he was holding, then up at June.
Oh yeah, how's your fever? You feeling better now?
Ooh.
Yes, I'm fine.
June certainly looked fine.
Let me see your forehead.
Junpei held his hand on her forehead for a few seconds.
Guess it really has gone down.
Are you worried about me?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Sure. Explain the fever thing, please? June blushed and giggled.
By the way, Jumpy,
Hmm?
how did you end up here?
What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I?
There was a man with a gas mask when you got home at night. You inhaled some white smoke and passed out. When you woke up, you were on D-Deck.
Damn straight.
But is that really the truth?
What?
Jumpy, are you hiding something from me?
No, why would I?
Well, if you think about it, this is awfully suspicious.
She's not wrong.
Why would two childhood friends bump into each other in a place like this?
Yeah, you probably should have questioned this yourself, Junpei.
Hey, I could ask you the same thing. Are you hiding something?
What would I hide?
Well, I don't know. Anything. I mean, you're hiding it. How would I know?
You mean like the number of men I've dated?
Oh my god. Junpei's heart stumbled over itself.
Do you want to know?
He had to admit, he was a little curious.
Don't worry.
She smiled at him.
18
I love her.
times 0. Yeah, I guess I just haven't met Mr. Right yet.
June looked a little embarrassed and scratched the back of her head in a desperate attempt to seem nonchalant.
Yeah, I see.
Also, the fact that she used a multiple of 9. Junpei coughed quietly in much the same way.
Anyway, I'm not hiding anything. Just like you, Jumpy. When I woke up, I was on D-Deck.
Well, you do have a point. I mean, why did Zero pick us? We haven't seen each other since elementary school.
I wonder.
June nodded, and for a few moments she had the faraway look of someone in deep thought.
Look for what connects the victims. That will lead you to the culprit. Do you remember Seven saying something like that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, and he's a cop.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think this must all have something to do with a classmate of ours.
You got any ideas who it might be?
No, nothing.
Well, there's one kid who's like a little creepy, I don't know.
Oh.
Well, if it had something to do with school, then it could be one of our teachers, or maybe the principal?
Or the janitor, or the lunch lady.
No, I can barely remember any of them.
Good night, LG. Zero's their landlord and the rent is way late. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know.
Seems realistic. Maybe it was that kid who always showed up in the gas mask. So true, watermelon. You know, I always thought it was pretty suspicious. But like, whatever, right? Junpei went back to searching, feeling unpleasant and confused. Elementary school. Elementary school. Was there anything strange that had happened in elementary school? As he searched the room, he continued to rack his brain. Yeah. Jumpy, what are you doing? We don't have the time to be relaxing on a sofa. It's a sofa. Maybe I shouldn't sit on it. Jun will get mad again. Miredo. Oh no, my mistake. It's a sofa. Corny. It's a display case. But there's nothing being displayed. How sad. Looks like the drawers are empty too. It's a round wooden table. Looks like a valuable vase. Empty though. Looks like there's a room to the right side of the vase. Yeah, yep. I can't. Feels like that would be relevant, but... It's a light blue blanket with some designs on it. Someone's made the bed, or at least never unmade it. There's only bed sheets under the blanket. Nothing exciting. Damn it, there's always something cool in the bed. This isn't a painting. Is it a map? Here's a map on either side. It looks like the map of the ship's interior. Oh, this is a great find. I think it'll be really useful. Let's take it with us. Junpei took one last look at the map, then folded it up and slid it back into his pocket. Jun looked up as he closed it.
This ship is bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's probably about 900 feet long.
Must be one of those fancy cruise ships.
900 feet, huh?
Of course, it doesn't really look like a cruise ship. Everything in here is really retro. Even if it's just some sort of style choice, there's just too much.
Do you remember what Zero said?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe
Titanic.
this boat and the Titanic have something to do with each other?
Oh yeah, I think possibly that might just be.
That's a good point. I doubt he would have mentioned it if there wasn't a reason.
Junpei took a moment to look around the room.
Do you think this boat is... a replica of the Titanic?
A replica?
Yeah, you know, like a copy of the actual boat.
Who on earth would make something like that?
There are so many people who would make something like that.
Fans. Crazy Titanic fans.
No way. Do you even know how much money that would take?
Here's some rich fans.
No idea. But all they've got to do is break even, you know?
Break even?
Yeah, they could use it as a cruise ship. Climb aboard a piece of history, sail around the world in the resurrected Titanic. Hell, with marketing like that, they'd probably have more customers than they'd know what to do with.
Do you really think people would want to ride on a ship with such an ominous past?
Yes.
It's the site of the worst accident in history. Over 1,500 people died. I wouldn't be surprised if you'd get cursed just for going.
Is that the worst accident in history?
A curse, huh?
Jumpy, do you believe in that sort of thing? You know, curses and stuff?
Yeah, so like it would be cheaper to make a Titanic replica. The expensive thing really would be making it actually safe. Oh yeah, no one had to die. It was just yeah, it was greed, right? Because there were like lifeboats, I believe, and there was like plenty of. That's right. That's right. I don't personally, but I want to go along with her.
Yeah, well, I guess so. To a certain extent.
Junpei scratched his temple.
What about you? No, I guess that's kind of a dumb question.
Yes, I do believe in curses. In fact, I think it was a curse that sunk the Titanic.
I know I disagreed with her. I know I just did that. A curse, alright.
What?
A curse sank the Titanic. The curse of the Egyptian mummy.
I'm gonna need a moment. The Titanic was sunk by the curse of the Egyptian mummy. Okay. Sure, why not?
Supposedly, the Titanic carried the mummy of the priestess Amun-Ra, which was stolen from a pyramid. And they say that the mummy had a history.
Most mummies do.
Everyone involved with it died mysterious deaths. Come on, I'm sure you've heard of it before. Those who open the coffin will be forever cursed. Haven't you ever heard that one?
Only a million
So you're
times.
saying the Titanic sunk because of that curse?
That's right.
June's eyes had lit up with excitement, like a child with a new toy.
That mummy, the priestess?
Hey, Jazz with the raid! Thank you, thank you, thank you! Hope I had a good stream. Let me give you a shout out real fast. Hell yeah, Elden Ring. Hope you had fun.
Supposedly, she was special.
We're finding out what really sunk the Titanic right now.
What do you mean?
Well, supposedly, she was really pretty.
Apparently, it was mummies. Yeah, you know, that tracks. If there's anything I know about Souls likes.
Pretty?
Yes?
But she was a mummy.
That's right. She wasn't all shriveled up or rotten or anything. She almost looked alive.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, it's that thing. I don't remember the name. Where your body turns into some kind of wax? Yeah? The fat in it turns into something kind of like candle wax, right? And
Yes, saponification, but that's not what it was.
I have literally never heard of saponification. But go on.
Huh?
That's not it. She wasn't wax.
Then what was it?
They say that she was frozen.
What? Frozen?
Frozen mummy!
Right. The whole body was frozen solid. You know how a human body is more than 60% water?
There are examples of frozen people.
Well, all of that water was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic. Even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
That's cursed, alright.
That's crazy.
I think so too, but maybe it's true and we just didn't know about it before.
I didn't know?
Yep. Maybe it's common sense to eat shaved ice in the desert because it lasts forever.
What?
Nah, that seems too silly to be true.
I love her. She's great. She's adorable. And don't worry, if you understood what was going on coming in from that point, I would be amazed.
But maybe it isn't. It just appears that way because you didn't know it was true.
Well, yeah,
She's right, you know. Jun and Junpei talked a little more, then went back to their investigation. But even as they did, his mind went back to what she'd told him.
Ice that doesn't melt, even in the desert? Does something like that really exist? No, even if it did, it wouldn't really be ice anymore, would it?
The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Yeah, me too, buddy. Like he'd eaten his ice cream too fast. Interesting. Junpei's intelligence lowered by 10 from listening to that. Yeah, mine too. I think she's right. I think the Titanic was sunk by mummy curse. It's a bottle with water in it. Do we need to freeze it? This is a bedroom. They probably have it here because your throat always feels dry when you wake up, you know? My throat's dry, but I think that's because I'm a little nervous right now. Well, we did run a lot, so we're kind of sweaty. Hey, Jumpy, did you want to take a shower together? Whoa. Just kidding. Too late to take it back. My brain's already working out the picture. Junpei. My throat was dry already. This sure wasn't helping. Alright, Junpei. I doubt it'll be that useful. I don't know about that. A wooden cupboard. There are cups inside, surprising no one. Hey, Bumba Maiden, looking for the follow. Hope you're having a good day. It's light. Even if it's heavy. That's light. Yeah, I'm seeing that now, and that's... She's... I love her. That's useful. This is a mirror for the dresser. And now she's playing with her hair. Does she even realize she's doing that? Hey, we don't have time for that. Come on. It's not like there's anyone here you need to impress. Yes, there is. Who? What? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? Ah, forget it, Jumpy. You fucking fool, you fucking idiot. The chair that goes with the dresser. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. Please do get some rest, Bun Bun. Thank you for stopping by, but yeah. Get some sleep. I feel ya. Was there anything locked in here? I don't think there was. Please make you some Din Din Jazz. Yeah, I'm assuming anything we're gonna be using that lock on is gonna be on in the other room. Jumpy, where are you going? I was thinking of going over to Lotus's room. Why? What do you mean, why? I'm just gonna go check up on them. Is there something wrong with that? Well, no. Come back soon. Sure thing. I'll leave the rest to you. Sure. Leave it to me. Alright, off to the other room. Yeah, predictably it's like a mirror. Except... Ooh. It's a tile with a black and white pattern on it. I see. Looks like a valuable vase. Empty, though. There seems to be a room on the left side of the vase. This is the bathroom wall. The whole wall is covered in these square tiles. Tiles? Yeah, we can use those. This thing's a little shelf for putting soap on. That's the shower knob. I tried turning it, but no water comes out. Whoa, look! Junpei! There's a mushroom growing out of the wall! That's a shower head. Some toilet paper. We've got 2 rolls, I guess. Is there anything in the toilet? Guess not. The tank's empty too. There's a curtain rod on the ceiling. It's probably for the shower curtains. Where are the curtains then? That means if someone's taking a shower, no one else can use the bathroom. Is so? I don't see a problem with that. Junpei, you're a pervert. It's an awkward situation. Regardless. Hey, check this out. This is a pretty nice sofa. I know. It's a shame I can't take it back with me. Steal the sofa! Huh? What's the matter, Santa? Why are you examining the sofa? Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Wow, this is a display case. Check it out. These plates and shit look really expensive. You want to take a look? This tile. I think I've seen it somewhere. Yeah, I know. Kinda looks like the one we saw in the other room. You didn't see that. Damn, guess that's the wrong key. Well, that means there's gotta be another one somewhere around here. Otherwise, we aren't gonna be able to open this thing. Is that a... There are a couple pieces of art in here. Can't see if they're very good or not. The room in the back is dark. Aren't there any lights? Huh? This is a light switch, right? Sweet, I could use some light. Shoot. No dice. You think the bulbs are burned out? Either that, or the electricity to this room was deliberately shut off. I don't really give a crap about why it doesn't work. It doesn't work and we can't do shit about it. It's way too dark in here to see anything. We're going to need some light. I can barely make out the bed in the darkness. Sleep would be nice, but it would probably cost me my life. It's too dark to search for anything. Oh, a chair for the dresser. I'm feeling a little tired. I think I'll just sit down here for a minute. Ah. You sound like an old lady. Why, you little son of a... I'm gonna kick your ass. Get his ass. A dresser. There's nothing on top of it. Let's see if this... Yes! Yes, it worked! Plate. This is the mirror for the dresser. Damn straight. Nothing weird about it, though. Is that a light? Kinda hard to tell in the dark. Oh, I wonder if this is what they call art. Let me see if I can talk today. I wonder if this is what they call irony. To figure out if this is a light, we need a light. Talk about a catch-22. Kind of says something about life, though, don't you think? It doesn't look like this light can turn on. Maybe we'll get lucky and find something else that can light this place up. Such as... a candle with a candlestick. This might come in handy. I know. If I use these matches to light the candle. Normal. What's up? You going back already? Well, I can't just leave June there by herself. I totally clicked on the wrong door. Huh. What, do you think you're her knight or her protector or something? You're creeping me out. Whatever, man. I'm going. Awesome. The light from the candle. Maybe we can take a look around over there. It gets so hot when I hold it. I want to put it down. Well, why don't you set it on top of the dresser? It's flat there. At least it won't fall over. Oh yeah, good idea. Hey! It got pretty bright. Now we can look around a little. It's a light, man. Can't you figure that out on your own? Hard to tell if it's burned out or not. Of course, now that we have the candle, I guess it doesn't really matter that much anymore. Interesting. 2 pillows in a pile. Oh. A pile of pillows. Is that supposed to be some kind of joke? Hey, calm down. Huh? Hey, what the hell? It just got dark all of a sudden. Maybe the candle got blown out? We should go see. By go see, you mean turn around? What? There's a candlestick covered in melted wax on top of the dresser. Hey, what's this? The top of the candlestick looks kind of weird. You're right. It's all bumpy. A key! That was fast, though. Let's see if this candlestick key will do anything. Yes, it opened. Alright, pull that shit open. Neat.
Hey, Junpei, you got a minute?
Santa had shown up out of nowhere and gave Junpei no small start.
Here, take this.
Santa pulled something out of his pocket.
A bookmark?
It looked like a bookmark. It had a 4-leaf clover in it.
What is this for? Do you want me to read a book?
I'm having a lot of trouble differentiating their voices when I read it, so I feel like I might want to...
I found it in between some of the cushions on the sofa.
Like, he's very... I found it in between some of the cushions on the sofa. He's very, like... He puts a lot of effort into his words. He enunciates everything really clearly.
Pretty sure it ain't gonna be any help to us, but I figured we might as well hang on to it anyway.
Pretty sure it ain't gonna be any help to us. Yeah.
Then why don't you hold on to it?
And Jupiter's like kind of lazy with his speech. Then why don't you hold on to it? He's like kind of tired. Santa gave him a wry smile.
You know what I hate most in the world? I got 4 things. Hope, faith, love, and luck.
This fucking guy.
Hope, faith, love, and luck?
Damn straight.
And you hate these things?
What a fuck... This is like the one fucking Jughead scene from Riverdale.
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
In terms of just like the vibe, where he thinks he's so fucking cool.
Not really, but...
I mean, like... I guess it's like polar opposites. The whole thing is like, I'm weird, you know? But it's like... Junpei tried to figure out how best to phrase what he wanted to say.
What does a bookmark have to do with any of that?
I do remember Sonic 06. Santa scratched the back of his ear and looked awkward.
Well, see, each leaf on the 4-leaf clover has a meaning to it, okay? And that meaning is pretty much those 4 words. It's like a flower language. Well, I guess it's not a flower, is it? So, leaf language, I guess? Yeah, you could call them leaf words.
Leaf words.
Leaf words.
Junpei looked at the bookmark.
Hope, faith, love, and luck. The meaning of the leaves on a 4-leaf clover.
So is a 3-leaf clover only hope, faith, and love?
Take it, okay? Just touching it gives me the creeps. Take the damn thing, alright?
Santa pretended to shiver with disgust and shoved the bookmark into Junpei's confused hands. I didn't realize that was a thing you could do in Sonic 06. Like PvP in general?
Here.
I mean, yeah. Decided to take it. After all, why shouldn't he?
Alright, sure. I'll take it.
He shoved the thing into his pocket and gave Santa a last confused look.
Oh, man, I feel a lot better now. That thing was a real pain, you know?
Do you really hate those 4 words that much?
Yeah, well, they can all betray you, you know? Hope, faith, love, even your destiny.
Yeah, so like a race. Yeah, I think I do vaguely remember there being that race. I never played it myself, but like I've seen a lot of it. What had happened to Santa, Junpei wondered. How did he become such a bitter person? For a moment, they looked at each other.
Well, that's not my only reason.
What?
That's not the only reason I hate the 4-leaf clover. I just can't bring myself to like the number 4.
And the person who's got the number 4 named herself Clover.
What, worried about the 4 horsemen?
Nah, come on, man. That's just silly. Maybe back in the Dark Ages that kind of crap scared people. But this is the 21st century. And I'm a 21st century guy.
Are you familiar with the Japanese language?
I'm a little insulted.
Then why do you hate 4 so much?
'Cause it's a half-assed number. Not the best or the worst. That's why.
What?
9 is a way better number.
But I mean, if you ask me if I agree, I would say, yeah, I like 9 more, but...
So what if it's last place, right? At least it's not some lame-ass middle number.
What are you...
Santa's explanation made no sense. Junpei was even more confused than before. Yeah, me too, buddy.
Play?
He's a gambler.
You mean like gambling?
Yeah, of course. What else would I mean?
Yeah, not like the stock market or anything. Never considered that.
In Baccarat, the best possible hand totals 9. They call it Le Grand. But the lowest, most worthless cards, zeros. They call monkey.
Just like the guy in charge of this game, huh? Zero's a monkey.
Santa blinked, utterly stunned. What? Then he began to laugh.
Oh man, you're totally right. The guy who trapped us in here sure is one hell of a monkey.
Zero is a monkey. That was when Lotus spoke up.
You know, if you think about it, the nonary game is really a lot like Baccarat.
Apparently, she'd been listening.
And of course, it doesn't use any of that stupid digital root junk. You just drop the tens digit, and that's it. Still, it does have the same idea of your final number needing to be a single digit.
That's not wrong, actually.
Oh, yeah. I guess you got a point.
I think Santa was just like caught off guard because he was in the middle of explaining Baccarat. And Junpei suddenly jumped in with like an insult.
And in both games, whoever has 9 wins.
The person who makes 9 wins?
Wait, did you forget already? Don't you remember what Zero said?
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek away.
No, I personally remember
If
perfectly.
we want to get off this boat, we have to make a team whose numbers have the digital root of 9.
And only the people in that team are going to make it out alive.
Of course. That's why it's called the nonary game.
What?
Huh?
Did you too? I mean, I'm not surprised about Santa, but I am surprised about Junpei.
You don't know? Nonary means something derived from 9, or base 9. It's derived from the Latin prefix nona, which means 9.
How did I not make that connection, though? Her daughter's name is Nona.
While we're at it, the prefix for 1 is uni.
Is that perhaps your other Your other daughter?
You know, like the unicorn, the horse with one horn. 2 is bi, like binary.
Like bisexual, baby.
Binary means composed of 2 parts. 3 is tri. I'm sure you've heard that one plenty. Like trio, triple, and triangle. You get the idea. After that, you have quart, quinty, sext, septum, and so on. And of course, the prefix for 8 is octo, like octopus. It's called that because it has 8 legs. Get it?
I see. So then Nona
Useful
means
knowledge.
9.
Lotus nodded.
So, how many of us are trapped on this ship?
That'd be 9.
And what are the bracelet numbers we have?
They go from 1 to 9.
And our time limit? How many hours did we have?
0 said 9 hours.
And finally, to get out of this ship.
Glad we're acknowledging
We
this.
need to find the door with a 9 that's hidden somewhere in the ship.
By making a team with the digital root of 9.
Lotus nodded again.
And there you have it. The number 9 is everywhere in this game. He's got a real theme of 9s for this whole thing. No wonder it's called the Nonary game.
Tech moment. Somewhere far away, Junpei heard the creak of stressed metal. It sounded almost like Zero laughing at them. Or the sad, desperate scream of a pig headed to the slaughterhouse. Well. Obviously, we need to head to the other room. Junpei, if you miss her so much, you don't have to keep coming back here. No, that's not what this is. I'm just being like a bridge between the 2 rooms. Uh-huh. You just keep telling yourself that. Now get out of here and go help June. Where is... I get it. Yes, yes. What are you mumbling about? Did you figure something out? Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. On the right side of the picture. Oh, right, I forgot I needed to put the, shower curtain in place. Back we go! There's a curtain rod running along the ceiling. Let's put that shower curtain on these hooks. Let's try spreading the curtains. Wow. That's a pretty obvious peephole. Somebody's really dedicated. Well, with a hole this big, you gotta wonder if maybe they wanted to be caught. So, you're saying that maybe the one getting spied on was into that shit. Maybe they're into, like, those home invasion fantasies. Home invasion? Interesting. I see. You two are real idiots, you know that? It's a distraction from the real people, so true. What can we see through the people, though? Nothing. It's just like a sliver of the door. Which doesn't seem right. Oh, hey, Choco! Good to see ya. Maybe he'll say something? About the shower curtain here? Shower curtains, huh? Let's try closing it. Now I can see the full expanse of the shower curtain in all its waterproof glory. There's nothing. Suspicious. It's just a normal old shower curtain. A narrow shower. And I'm standing in it with the June. This is awkward. Time to open the curtain. Suspect. Hey, Junpei, that tile you got. You think maybe you're supposed to put it in one of those empty spaces? I mean, the pattern looks kind of the same, doesn't it? He's right. I think so too. But if that is the case, you're going to need to collect all 3 tiles, right? Don't you think we should collect all of them before you start putting them in? You know, whatever. Fucking... Goddamn. Making me work. Okay, so where is the other one then? Because... Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? That would, of course, be Lotus. Crazy old bat. Guess the stress was just too much for her. Did you say something? Nope, nothing. It doesn't respond when I talk to it. Very rude for a mirror. Oh. The fact that like nothing happened with the shower curtain? Like, there's gotta be something you can do with that, but oh, you know what? I'm stupid. Leave it. Now, if I can click on the right part of the screen, that'd be helpful. Well, yes, that's not what I'm looking for. I was like, oh, maybe that'll let the light shine through on a specific spot. No, apparently not. Apparently Junpei is just gonna open it right back up every time we turn around. I tried. They just made comments about it being a peephole. Didn't consider clicking on it from this side. There's a hole in the curtain. If I look at it from a ways back, I can see a single tile. Alright, from here I can see what tile it is. Looks like it's 5th from the top and 3rd from the right. Guess I'll put it back. Alright, looking through this hole, I see... Nothing strange here. Nope. Thing's not budging. Well then that means... Fifth from the top, 3rd from the right. Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, I'm a fool. I go out the door and I assume this is the door in front of me when I exit. Every single time. Here it is. Yes, this one's loose. I think I can get under this with my nails, and yes! Now we just have to memorize what this painting looks like. It's like a dude, like, dripping down onto, like, into a puddle. There's a tile in the frame, so I guess I'm supposed to put the tiles in the empty spaces. Alright, I'm gonna give this a shot. There it is! An elephant drinking the brains of a person. Yeah, I think June's right. I can see it now. Yes, I did it! There, picture complete. And there goes the frame. What's this? What do you mean, what's this? Pretty obvious, isn't it? It's a hole in the wall. Like a hidden safe or something, you know? Anyway, let's take a look. I think there's something inside. The Mars key! Junpei messed around a bit with the key he had and looked blankly at the picture that slid down.
What's the deal with this picture anyway?
Santa had only been mumbling to himself, but it drew Lotus's attention. She looked at the picture and paused.
I think I've seen this picture before.
Where?
In a book. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory.
So it's not a Rorschach.
I saw this picture in his book.
What's this interesting theory?
Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Morphogenetic field, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Sheldrake.
Man, I can't deal with this. Just listening to you talk about it is giving me a headache.
Santa put his hands on his head as though he were in great pain. Yeah, hearing all this shit from the very beginning of the game would have been an experience. Lotus merely arched an eyebrow in his direction and continued.
It's not a difficult concept to grasp. In essence, he states that the shape of living organisms and their behavioral patterns are transmitted through a field not visible to the eye.
What part of that isn't difficult, exactly?
Lotus did not look pleased.
All right, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
Telepathy?
Yes, telepathy. Well, perhaps not exactly telepathy, but it's close enough for a simple approximation.
Oh, like sensing things. Santa suddenly burst into laughter.
Are you serious? Telepathy? Who do you think we are? Kids from the 70s? I can't believe someone would actually do serious research on something like that.
Yes, I agree.
Lotus's response was surprisingly curt. Junpei expected at least some conflict.
I read the book, but I can hardly say I understood it. I'm in no position to defend or condemn anything it said. It was probably just someone latching onto a statistical outlier from some study and turning it into a ridiculous theory. There's no scientific merit to any of it, I'm sure. But even so, Anyway, I saw a picture like that one in his book.
Lotus indicated the picture they'd all been looking at. After a moment, she walked up to the strange picture, examined it, and then spoke.
Hey, what do you think this picture looks like?
Santa answered first.
What do you mean? Isn't it just like abstract or something like that? It's just black and white scribbles. There's no meaning there. That's it.
Looks like an alien sucking the lifeblood out of someone.
What about you, Junpei? Does it look like anything to you?
I guess it looks like...
Punyarimpa. I mean, I have to.
Funyarimpa. See? I mean, this totally looks like one.
This totally looks like one.
Here.
Junpei indicated the parts of the picture that looked exactly like the other parts. After 3 seconds of silence, Lotus looked at Junpei.
What the hell is a Funyarimpa?
What do you mean? What the hell is a Funyarimpa? You mean you don't know?
How the hell would I know?
How could you not know? That's practically blasphemous. Oh, say you're sorry. Apologize to the Funyarimpa. Goodness, you are such a rude woman.
Apologize to the Funyarimpa! Another 3 seconds of awkward silence went by. Lotus opened her mouth as she shook.
Junpei, are you just screwing around? Forget it. I'm just gonna tell you. This is a dog. See?
What?
Like this.
Oh! Oh, I see! It looked as though she had a point. It was a dog. Santa also nodded in agreement.
So, now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how that helps us.
Lotus nodded and began to speak.
A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. They took two similar pictures. Both of them were difficult to identify, initially. But once you figured out the answer, you couldn't see it as anything else. These two pictures. The first was a woman wearing a hat. The other one, well, to make it easier, let's just say it was this picture of a dog. So, their experiment. First, they sent the picture to other parts of the world outside the reach of British airwaves. To Ireland, the US, Africa, Europe, etc. Then, in each country, they gathered a number of test subjects. Roughly 1,000 people. They were shown the two pictures and asked, what does this picture look like to you? The results weren't really interesting on their own. 9.2% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. 3.9% saw the dog in the dog picture. Then, 2 days later, they aired a new program on their show. During the 30-minute show, they broadcast the dog picture and its solution. The audience was estimated to be 200,000 people. After the broadcast, it was a safe bet that the number of people who knew the solution to the dog picture was at least that many. After another 2 days passed, they gathered more research subjects from areas outside the reach of British TV and radio. This time, they only found a sample of roughly 850 people. Naturally, none of them had participated in the first test. They were, however, given the same tests and the same two pictures. The results were startling. 10% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. The previous test sat at a 9.2% success rate. Not much of a change statistically. The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The percentage of people able to successfully find the dog, it went from 3.9% to 6.8%, a very significant increase.
Dang, okay.
So do you understand? Do you realize the significance of this experiment? There was no way the second group could have seen the picture. They lived far away from Britain and couldn't have seen it.
Interesting.
But even so, it was only the success rate for the dog picture that went up. Why? How did that happen? What does it mean?
What does it all mean? Lotus looked back and forth, from Junpei to Santa and back again. Normally calm and collected, she looked now as though she were very nearly possessed. And there's something manic about her manner. Santa took an involuntary step backward. Junpei didn't budge and stared right back into Lotus's eyes.
Oh, wait, does this have something to do with that field, or whatever it was that you were talking about earlier? A field not visible to the eye.
So collective knowledge.
So, if more people know the answer, then that information will pass through the field.
This is just like what we... Dude. Remember the whole thing about how the one like weird chemical they're trying to develop suddenly started developing into hydrates autonomously, and the suggestion was just that somehow they were all passing information between each other in order to do that switch.
Huh.
Same thing.
Psych!
Her manner suddenly shifted, and Lotus smiled broadly at Junpei and Santa. She waved her hand dismissively, doing her best to laugh the whole confrontation off.
I was just kidding. You really shouldn't take me seriously. Well, I mean, the things I just told you about are true. They really did happen. But the results of that experiment really aren't anything to go by. They could have easily falsified them. In the end, I'm sure they were just in it for the ratings. They are a TV station after all.
That's true. At last, it seemed that Santa had gained control of his composure.
Right! Man, I gotta admit, you had me there for a minute. were serious.
Of course not. Like I told you before, I'm sure it's all just pseudoscience.
Oh,
Of course.
okay, right.
Santa and Lotus laughed and gave one another jovial claps on the shoulder. Junpei, however, didn't feel so much like laughing. Something felt wrong, unclear.
All right, enough nonsense. We've got the key. Let's get out of here.
Word.
Lotus and Santa walked away from the picture, but Junpei stayed, staring at the picture of the dog.
Huh. A field not visible to the naked eye. Morphogenetic field.
I'm gonna write that down just for me. For my own sake. Morphogenetic field. There is a part of me that wants to look up all this bizarre shit later, like, once I'm done with the game, just to know, like, how much of it is based in reality. I'm sure, like, a lot of it is, like, Uchikoshi heard about this thing is like, man, that sounds cool. So he just amped the hell up and used it somehow in his funny video games. Alright, let's go to the hallway. I'll go get June. You guys head to the door. Okay. Roger that. Yes, it unlocked. Good job, Junpei. Good, now we can get going. Come on, what are you guys standing around for? Let's get out of here. Come on, Junpei, let's go. Alright, let's go. Thank you for the hydrate, Cossack, and the stretch. They stepped through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway.
Huh, another hallway.
Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. A short distance away, metal grates extended across the width of the hallway.
Come on, open!
It's not going to open because you rattled it, you know.
Damn it!
They took hold and shook, but it refused to move.
Look over here!
Nearby was a pair of elevators.
Elevators. And the buttons? Of course they don't work.
The power must be out here too, just like by the staircase.
That leaves this door. Well, looks like we don't have any choice.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Well then, let's open it.
All right, here I go.
Junpei grabbed hold of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. He entered slowly, trying to take in as much of his surroundings as he could. The others followed shortly.
Oh, so it's a kitchen.
Santa did not look pleased.
What were you expecting?
Isn't it obvious? The exit. I was hoping this would be the way out of here.
You really think it'd be that easy?
Yeah, I know. Still.
As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of a door.
If we can just get through this door, we should come out on the other side of that grate we saw earlier.
But, Junpei? Your voice line? But, don't we need a key for that?
No good.
Sorry, I guess that wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy.
Anyway,
No one's happy
let's
here.
take a look.
Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket and spread it out in front of him. Wish I was good with maps. As he did.
Hey!
What's that?
Huh? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you. I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B deck.
Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away from him.
Let me see that.
She ran her finger across it, muttering to herself.
I knew it. See? Look.
Yes, hold your horses.
Junpei did as he was told.
What did you figure out?
Santa and June moved over to look at the map as well.
This is handy.
See? We came in here. Now if we go out there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate.
With a finger, Lotus traced a path on the map.
How about that? She's right. We can get out through there.
There we go. Here, you can have it back.
Also, it should show that each of the paths we could have taken, each of the 4 and 5 doors would have led. Oh dear. Hey, Cortezalec. Good to see ya. Satisfied that she had been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Jinpei.
Thanks.
He took it and slid the valuable piece of paper back into his pocket.
There's a card reader on the right side of the door.
And that means the key card is somewhere in here, right?
That seems the most likely.
All right, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues.
Okay.
Alright, gang. Another puzzle room, baby. One, two, three. There's 10 of them. If you flip these over, they look like hats. The middle is super deep for a plate. They're soup plates. They're made that way so that the soup doesn't spill. If we ever get out of here, you should treat yourself to a nice dinner out. What makes you think a poor college student has the money to do something like that? Those 9 plates look pretty expensive. They're plates for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come on square plates. Okay, okay. Well, excuse me, princess. Did they really reference the goddamn Zelda anime? A voucher. It says, appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A. Could you get out from in front of my camera, sir? Soup A, seafood dish F. Okay. I'll write that down. Appetizer 9, meat 10, soup A, seafood F. There's something here. A partition. There's nothing special about it. This looks like a serving table. I'd imagine food is put here after it's prepared so that the waiters and waitresses can take it out to the customers. But something doesn't seem right here. Why are there so many plates? Interesting. Let's partition this. What's the room? On the right side of the wall. It's one of those swinging doors. You see them a lot in between kitchens and dining areas in restaurants. Without this door, you need to run all the way around the partition to get to the other side. That'd really be a pain in the ass, huh? Well, I guess it's not really important, but still. Wow. This pot looks like it's made out of silver. I bet drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. Spending a day off with June, drinking tea. Could such a day ever happen for me? Jumpy? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. It's a lot of notes. They've got a bunch of stuff written on them, but it doesn't look like code or anything like that. It's a bolt, and it's really rusty. Will this even open? We won't know until we try. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's see if you're gonna come out. Damn, no dice. Neat. There's so much stuff in here. A whole lot of cans. This is probably a pantry. Cheese! Holy shit. There's so much. Hey, there's something behind the cheese. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? Alright, guys, time to move it. June and I need to look behind you. There's a little green bottle back there. Oil. There are a number of cheeses lined up on the shelf. This is good. The most famous Dutch cheese. If you don't cut open the casing, it usually won't go bad. So you can store it at room temperature for quite a while. So we can eat this? Most likely. I'm not hungry at all. I guess it's hard to get hungry in a situation like this. Jumpy, you're searching with such tenacity. I don't think you have to search down there. I just want to be sure. There are cans lining every shelf in here. Wooden box in the second row, though. So there is.
A rusty knife? I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this.
The knife seemed important, Junpei thought. But it wasn't going to be much use the way it was.
It's futile.
Futile?
You know, a waste, useless, pointless.
It's pointless.
Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up?
Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility.
Huh?
But what? She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question.
Thinking about futility?
At last she answered.
Well, it has something to do with the Titanic.
The Titanic?
Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
That sounds kind of familiar. But I don't know a lot about it.
No, I haven't. What is it?
In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson. The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't be any reason to mention it. It wasn't, though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself, and the cause, and the location of the damage. Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. This book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank.
Interesting.
But that's not all. It wasn't just futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead.
Everyone knew that shit was gonna go bad.
Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided. Many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships.
Right, I knew you'd say that.
Hmm?
But what if Stead had some sort of special powers?
Oh, like what we were talking about earlier, somehow?
To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
Right, automatic writing.
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about when someone's possessed by a spirit and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing?
Yeah.
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull.
Unless...
But Jumpy, you said you believe in curses.
Oh, that shit mattered.
Come on, that's totally different. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff?
A prophet.
That's not it.
What's not it?
Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing.
Continue. You know, I want to hear.
What are you smoking?
William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic.
What Junpei doesn't know is like the ghosts are time travelers. You know, it makes so much sense.
He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes 20 years before it happened.
He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably.
Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay?
Huh? But...
Her voice trailed off and she glanced at the floor, troubled. Oh, June.
Come on, let's get back to it.
Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. Yeah, it's futile. Well, if you watch that one dude's videos on YouTube about restoring knives, you know how to do it. A countertop. We've got a rolling pin and a colander. Nothing useful, in other words. Hey, Santa. Could you open that door, please? What the hell? There's no way I could open that thing. Guess you're getting to that age where your eyes start to go, huh? You'd better watch your mouth, boy, or someone won't live long enough to see that door open. This has got the two of them on edge. We've got to get out of here, and fast. There's a tank with a pipe coming out of it. Nothing really that special about it. Hey, is that a boiler over there? Who knows? The pipe goes up into the ceiling. Maybe, just maybe, we can climb into that pipe and get out of here. Idiots! How the hell are you supposed to get into a pipe that size? Well, at least you kind of got my joke. That makes me kind of happy. It's kind of far away. I can't really tell, but is that a ladle? I don't really think a ladle is going to be very useful. You say that now. There's a light hanging from the ceiling. There's the exit. There's a big old iron plate over the door. Yeah, I don't think we can open it. All we've got here is a pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. Well, I guess we could use some of these as weapons. What kind of an idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? Won't even. I'm assuming this has to do with the, meal order. But we don't know yet. An iron oven. It's pretty heavy duty. It's probably industrial quality. I bet you could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn it, I knew it. It's locked. There's some bottles of seasoning in here. There's a pot on top of the stove. If there are some ingredients around here, I could cook something up for us. Lotus, you can actually cook? Who the hell do you think I am? You'd better believe I know how to boil hot water and put in my instant noodles. And, I can boil eggs too. Oh, lights. It's nice to have something to finally go our way. Sure is. It's a card reader. Since the light's red, I figure it's probably still locked. The key cards for it's gotta be around here somewhere. We just gotta find it. This is the door we came in through. It's not locked, so we could go back out, but what's the point, right? All that's out there is an iron gate and a dead-end hallway. Yup. Might as well be locked for all the good going back out there would do. A trash can. There's something inside of it. Well, better than being full of rotten food, I suppose. Damn it, there's something in here. Hey Santa, digging through the trash really suits you. The hell did you say? Listen, lady, I did you a favor. I knew you'd just piss and moan, so I did it for you. Oh my. I don't recall asking you to do anything. Ugh. I'll throttle you. Excuse me. Does it feel colder in here? Oh, a countertop. There's a rolling pin and a colander here. Nothing useful. A sink. It's still got water in it. There's a couple of plates in there, but I don't think they're gonna help us much. Ooh. Whetstone! Maybe I'll use the whetstone to sharpen the knife. The blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. I should be able to cut something pretty good with this. So, I guess you managed to sharpen the knife, Junpei. Who are you gonna stab with that? No one! You could probably cut something soft with that. In other words, he didn't do a very good job. Alright, it's going. Do you think this is all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kinda hard to believe that there's a chef on board somewhere. It's a grill. There's some holes down there. They're bright red. Wonder what this drawer is. You see the metal grate on the top of the grill? They make it like that so the fat and juices can drip off the meat while it cooks. Looks like the area under the plate opens up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. I think that's where the coal goes. The more you know. So if we need to heat anything up. Wow, what a nice dish rack. I'd love to have that in my kitchen. Why don't you take it back with you? Are you offering to carry it for me? Why don't you ask Simon? 7? You're kidding. You don't honestly think I'd let a beast like that into my home, do you? Fair point. Maybe this table is for preparing food. There are plates everywhere. Okay, but the order, though. Come to think of it. The order was appetizer 9, meat 10, soup A, seafood F. So if there's anything approaching that in here. But there's not. Oh, you know what? We could cut something soft. We could probably get some of the cheese. Don't know what good it'll do for us, but... Nope. What else is soft in this room? Can I heat up the knife? No. I was thinking there would maybe be like a list of all the dishes somewhere here, but I'm not seeing anything. You would think it'd be on here, but we can't examine it. And surely, but just for funny. I mean, if there's a pan... Did you see that action movie that came out last week? Nah, I heard it was critically panned. I don't know. It's pretty enjoyable with a little pot. God. Losers. Junpei smoke weed real. Didn't think so. What is it then? Can't examine this thing. And these aren't anything. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be. It's like you can enter numbers into this thing. Is it an oven timer? It's probably for entering a passcode. After all, the oven door is locked. My guess is it'll open if we put in the correct code. Alright. If you say so. Can't use the oil here. So... Oh, you know what I could use the oil for is getting through that door. This bolt is rusted in place. It won't budge. Of course. Maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey! Just a little bit of oil and... Come on, you little son of a bitch. Whoa! Yes! Gotcha, you little bastard. You did it, Jumpy! You're so smart! I am. I'm a genius. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat.
Oh, it's cold in here. What is this place?
Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in an even worse situation.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
The best prepared for this. White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver.
Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But...
Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth.
Huh?
And the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door that they only recently come through was closed. Junpei rushed to the door.
No! Why did it suddenly close?
Hey, Lotus? Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob.
Ah!
It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was
The
painful.
knob's frozen!
But why?
They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured.
It looks like the pipe next to it broke, and...
Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door.
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
She wasted no time in responding.
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. If you say so. Hold on.
Soon they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased and they could hear light panting, as if from exertion.
It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
Oh.
We're about to die!
Damn it.
Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and shivering violently, oh honey. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies.
Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
Two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
Glad she's not counting Santa.
Right.
They pushed in close to one another and began to search. There's some frozen meat up there. Looks like pork. Huh? What's this? Looks like a tag or something. Jumpy, is there a slip of paper in that meat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If we try and pull it out, it'll probably rip. You need to defrost that. There's 3 of you in there, honey. Yeah, exactly. Don't think we're gonna be doing that in this room. Everything's frozen in here. It doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Dry ice? Yeah, that'll help. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeves so as to avoid burning himself.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
They were about to move on when June spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
Junpei looked at her, dumbfounded.
Oh, how do you know that?
Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off.
Oh,
yeah,
you're so
honey.
Cold, your mouth's going numb?
yeah, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you?
June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself.
Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
That's just weird to you? Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei. I don't want to question it, because I know how dry ice works, so it's not, like, weird to me. His patience was wearing thin.
How the hell would I know? And how the hell is that gonna help us get out of here? We don't have time for this crap.
But it can turn into a liquid.
Junpei stopped mid-sentence, surprised by June's introduction. Forgot about that.
Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure.
This isn't really a good time for a chat about science.
It is, actually.
But I was wondering the same thing.
Wondering what?
Wondering why carbon dioxide doesn't turn into a liquid unless it's under pressure.
You have to condense it to turn it into liquid. It expands either, like, when it becomes a gas or a solid, I believe. Or, wait. Because, like, most things other than water, shrink when turning into a solid.
Right? It just seems weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees, so why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? H2O and CO2 are pretty similar.
No, they're not. They're totally different substances. Look, guys, if we keep this up, we're just gonna freeze to death. You good with that? You want to die talking about sublimation and gases? Because I sure as hell don't.
He fixed both of them with a glare. I picked the Junpei as a dick option.
Now let's get back to work. Assuming you don't want to end up like a pair of ice sculptures.
Junpei turned around, the problem dealt with.
Oh, but Jumpy.
Or so he thought.
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees. I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees? You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
Wait. Oh shit, we were just talking about what if there's, like, I don't know, ice cream that doesn't melt in a desert? Granted, a desert can definitely get that hot, but, like... Wait. Yeah, the mummy. Water that freezes at 96 degrees? Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees? Now that was difficult to ignore. Junpei had to
So
ask.
what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
Mummy, sorry. Mummy, sorry.
I heard it's called Ice 9.
Ice 9?
Of course it's Ice 9.
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
Alright.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yep.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin?
No, I haven't.
150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip.
And no one can take credit for that. How sad.
Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there.
It's just like the ooh.
After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like... how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating.
Or like something had changed in the environment.
Communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
Junpei was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9?
To his surprise, it was Santa, not June, who answered.
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad.
I mean, it's the whole, like, it was created by a science fiction author and then it just was real.
If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man.
It'd be the end of the world.
Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern.
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
He was right. Junpei shivered.
Alright, guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend that the cold wasn't affecting him.
Selfish, isn't he?
Still, Santa was right. It was high time that they got back to their search.
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. I don't think we can afford to wait. It seems pretty important. Frozen chicken. Nothing else in here is interactable. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I wanted briefly to comment, but it's like, you know, I think we all know. I think we all know where Santa fucked up there. That's nothing new from him. Okay. There's water dripping from this pipe. It looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze it in place. Oh, I see. We need to tell the rest of the water to not freeze at this temperature anymore. Or something. This water actually seems almost warm, unless it's already that type of water. Hey, Junpei. Didn't you find some dry ice earlier? Yeah. There's warm water coming out of that pipe. Warm water and dry ice. Yeah, I was doing it. What do you think would happen if we put that stuff in a sealed container together? Oh, right, yep. Need the actual sealed container. Look. Actually, no, I can't cut that shit. It's not gonna work. I do kind of wonder though. Can't cut that open. Rope! That's always useful. There's so much stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Jumpy? Water bottle. There isn't anything else here that looks useful. Yeah, we need to... obviously. Let's start off by putting the dry ice into the water bottle. If the dry ice is too big, well, you gotta figure out a way to make it smaller then, don't you, genius? Oh. Can we do this now? Nope. How do we make the dry ice smaller? It's a rope. Hey Miku, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's good. Yeah, good as well. Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. I'm doing great at English, thank you. How do I make the dry ice smaller? Dry ice? Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? Explode? Yeah, didn't you do that in school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. So true. I didn't consider making it wet. Yeah, how do... There's nothing else in here. It's not letting me just make it wet. I can't just... Yeah, crush it. with... Oh. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Crumble! We're gonna put these pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. Chicken hammer! Not yet, Junpei. We're not gonna get the result that we want unless you can somehow... unless you can cook that bottle to the doorknob somehow. It's gotta explode right next to the ice on the doorknob. We need to figure out a way to attach the bottle to the doorknob. Yeah, I can't imagine how that would work. Let's just tie a rope on here. Water bottle bomb! Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door.
Put water into the bottle with dry ice, and make sure the lid's closed. Now I just have to put this makeshift bomb on the doorknob. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now?
Back away.
We just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own.
A small rock. Huh. A small rock.
Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he'd crushed earlier.
Alright, this ought to do the trick.
He pulled his sleeve down over his hand to keep from getting burned, and grabbed the chunk of dry ice. I was thinking you could just take the meat.
Ah, some dry ice, huh? Not a bad idea.
It was a pretty good size, about as big as a pool ball.
Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere.
Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern.
Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
Indiana Jones it, hide in the fridge.
There isn't really anywhere big enough.
Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there.
Oh yeah, the cellar. Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar.
Come on, get inside, quick.
Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Tell Lotus to back away. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill from the frozen carbon dioxide, even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw.
All right, here I go. 3, 4, 5.
You're counting the wrong way.
Oh, oops.
That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man.
Sorry,
2 for
dude.
5. Yeah, it got stuck.
All right, for real this time. You guys ready?
I can't believe it. We're stuck in the cellar now.
Yes.
Smaller escape room.
Just throw the damn thing.
All right, here I go. 3, 2, 1.
Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. If Junpei was me, he'd miss. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Junpei leapt out of the cellar and ran to the door.
Jumpy! The ice on the door! Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
The blast must have shattered it.
Yes! All right, let's see if it opens.
Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave way easily, and all 3 of them tumbled out of the freezer at once.
Hooray! We're out!
June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor.
Move!
Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed.
Oh, god damn it! Hot, 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 hot. Fuck!
Genius. He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage.
Well, you did just grab the grill. What did you think would happen? Hey, where's Lotus?
It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She's sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest.
Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys.
With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off of the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her.
What were you doing?
What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting.
We were gonna die!
Oh, yeah? But you didn't. So everything worked out all right, didn't it?
What the hell?
Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I was really worried.
Oh, don't give me that crap.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too.
Great.
If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So, all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops?
It was true that there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth.
Fine. But there's one thing I have to ask you.
What's that?
You didn't close the door, did you?
What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too.
Yeah, I guess so.
It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. Yeah, uh-huh.
If she really wanted to kill us, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside. But she didn't. Well, she didn't do anything. She's only lazy, or negligent at least. Not an attempted murderer.
Yet. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh, yes, well that's all right. As long as you understand.
Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the girl complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus.
Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death.
How rude! I was plenty busy.
Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go.
Well, now let's go right back into the freezer. Hey, Junpei, where do you think you're going? Oh, I was just thinking I'd check and see if we missed anything in the freezer. Why would we have missed anything? We searched that whole damn place. We put our lives on the line, man. Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't need to go back there. Well, let's thaw this stuff in. Guess I'll put this meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? We just gotta keep an eye on it and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. Hell yeah, watermelon culling cat moment. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Ouch! See? I told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So, are we going to have to cut the meat? Yeah, looks that way. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife. Yes, I cut the pork. Good job, Jumpy. Awesome, Junpei. Now we can cut out the paper. C plus 10 plus F. Okay. Interesting. The more you know. C plus 10 plus F. 9, 10, AF. So meat plus seafood and something else, maybe. Man, this pork smells good. Yup. It's not near time, buddy. It's only a partition. There's nothing else worth noting here. Sure. Surely it's... This is probably what you're supposed to do, use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier. Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing. So basically, when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. So if I screw up, I just press C, right? Lotus nodded. Alright, let's give it a shot. It's not gonna be this. But, okay, 3 plus 10 plus B, C, D, E, F, 6. 19. Yeah, no. Not that easy either. I think I better look at that note. Shit, it didn't work. Do you think maybe the note we found in the port wasn't a hint? D plus 10 plus F. There aren't any letters on the input device. Maybe if we can find a way to convert letters to numbers. Oh yeah, the voucher we found next to the plates had some letters on it, didn't it? Maybe they've got something to do with it. The voucher next to the plates? The other piece of meat is gone, unfortunately. Just depends on what C is. And also wherever we'd find seafood. I mean, I think there was some in there, but I wasn't able to pick it up. Yeah, this is all I got. Yeah, I got destroyed after being used as a hammer. Somehow. So... C plus 10 plus F. It sounds like a word puzzle of any sort. Appetizers 9, meat dishes 10, soup is A, seafood dishes an F. Is there any pattern with that? Because I certainly don't see one. Yeah, I can't. There's nothing I get from the plates, unfortunately. And the plates over here are just, Oh! Well, no. Appetizers 9. Meat dish 10 dishes. I think there are 15 of these plates. I'm assuming they're for seafood. How the hell can you tell that? They look like just any other plate from the 99-cent store. If you ever take a lady out to dinner, you're going to embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for June. What? Why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. You are not terribly subtle. There are a bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat. Ugh, you really are ignorant, aren't you? Come on, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez. This voucher doesn't match the number of plates on the table. Appetizer 9, meat dish 10, seafood, soup A, seafood dish F on the voucher. And the plates on the table are 9 appetizer, 16 meat, 10 soup, 15 seafood. Maybe they're using hexadecimal here. And hexadecimal is, but we know that. It's a number system that goes 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11. You're familiar with base 10, right? That's the normal system of numbers. The base 10 equivalents for hexadecimal numbers would go like this. A equals 10, B equals 11, C equals 12, D equals 13, E equals 14, F equals 15, and 10 equals 16. The 10 in base, and it becomes 16 in base 10. I know it sounds strange, but you can think of it as just 6 letters added onto the normal number system after 9. I think I get it. Oh. Yeah, so these all match up. Yeah, soup is an A. Seafood, 15, so it's F. And then meat is 16, so 10. This is nuts. Which means C plus 10 plus F would be 12 and 15. So 12 plus 10 plus 15. 22, 37. This is probably what you're supposed to... Yeah. Yeah. Or it's just all together. What? Oh yeah, it's a maximum of 3 digits, so... Unless... Yeah, because C is 12. F should be 15. Let's see. Or 4... Wait. A, B, or... 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, 15. 27, 37. So... Oh! Yeah, that's 16. I saw the normal number, I was like, I don't have to convert that. I'm too used to the other puzzle that had, like, different number conversions. Yeah, so 28 plus 15, 43. Sounds like metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. Yeah, the door opened. Good job, Jumpy. We did it! I don't know how I immediately forgot to convert the 10 when we were just talking about it. Junpei. She's pointing at the card reader. I figured that went without saying. Yes. I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Junpei. Jumpy? Let's get out of here. Yes, let's go. I'm a genius, clearly. Clearly you can tell.
I think we've been here before.
A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators in the entrance to the kitchen.
The elevators are over there, so that means...
We went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
That means the map was right.
Looks like.
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
Next move?
Yeah, we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
He's right. Let's get started.
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes. Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D. First, A and B.
They both seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
Yeah, there were 2 doors. But they were both locked. We couldn't open them.
Now, Route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase.
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
No, I don't think we will.
Unless...
Why not?
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed. But it's open now. What do you think that means?
They got in before us.
They opened it.
Most likely.
And if we take Route C, we're going backwards.
That would be pointless.
Then that means...
All 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship.
Route D, then.
D it is.
Yup, Route D.
Then we're set.
They jogged down the stairs until they reached the C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
Yeah, just like I thought. D deck is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror.
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
I almost wonder if they're actually on the water.
Small comfort.
May as well head back to C deck.
I mean, probably.
What else is here?
But it would be very Uchikoshi for them to not actually be in the ocean right now.
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs, just like the floor above.
Hold on. These are kind of different. See? There's a card reader on the side.
Another strange mark.
Hey, look! It's Lotus's symbol.
Are you gonna make the joke this time?
Huh?
See? It's the woman symbol with horns on it. That seems like... Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch,
Deserved. Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat.
What was that about the mark again?
Nothing.
Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up.
This is a Mercury symbol. The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
Hermes, herpes, whatever. If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it.
Probably.
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for now.
How about this hallway on the left?
Whoa, there's so many doors.
They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging.
Damn it. If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
I think the sun already set.
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon.
That's even worse.
Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we?
Time to head back to the stairs.
To the right was a small hallway.
Now the right hallway.
Quickly they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them.
All right, let's start with this one.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
Huh, it isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. He did it! Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
We've seen this shit before. He simply stood, unable to speak. The other simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak.
What the hell is this? This place is huge.
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Is this a hospital?
He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room.
It definitely has the smell.
Could be. I see medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
More numbered doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Why is the second door blank? That seems kind of strange, don't you think?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Junpei headed toward the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. Wow, who would have thought?
It's no use.
Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the notary game? We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
They're busted!
Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But this one...
There's nothing on it.
Right?
I wonder if it's broken.
Only one way to find out.
Hey, I'm just having a realization about the mystery killer from the last route we did. What if Clover in the other death routes wasn't the real Clover? Just thinking about things.
Responding.
All 4 took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
None of them are working.
What does it mean?
I knew it.
What does
They're
it all
broken.
mean?
Zero sure sucks at maintenance.
No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working.
It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them.
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed.
They spun around to see,
Snake!
but it was more than just Snake.
Ace! Clover! 7!
Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who had opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
How did you guys?
How did you end up here?
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they had been through and how they ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. I think we're back at where we were. They were happy simply to see each other, once again. Although the love cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the 9th man. If I check the flow, I'm right about the crossing point. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The 9th man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A simple, sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the 9th man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive.
There you have it. Our half of the story.
His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought, then he spoke.
Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors.
So you went and had a look?
Yeah.
And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you.
Why don't we check those 3 Reds again, just in case?
You're right. Huh.
They
There's
might have
a long,
changed.
thin gap on the bottom. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go?
No,
Quite a few doors.
there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
Hospital rooms. That's what's behind all those doors?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however.
I forget if we actually went through that one.
I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter.
Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere.
I wonder what they all mean.
For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
Shit happens on cruise ships, I don't know. Of all people, it was Seven who answered, and with calm confidence.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else.
What is this gigantic?
Seven knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain.
Gigantic.
I do wonder.
She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century.
At what point does it coincide? Because, like, what is this? Large hospital room.
Actually, the
Probably at the
Titanic
end of the scene?
had two sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gourdain seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic.
Yeah, Lord Gourdain, we know about that one.
That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself, which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic
Impossible
wasn't.
is...
And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gourdain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
You think you
That's
are.
impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
I don't know, that happens a lot.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
It's a theory, Lotus.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
Why is she so...
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Why are people like... Ace made a shitty theory at one point and everyone's like, yeah, that's right. But any other time someone's like, hey, hypothetically, possibly, this might be true, someone's like, you bitch. Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. I suppose part of it is just their, bad relationship, but he scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. Memory isn't back?
Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange.
Yeah?
Your point being?
He decided to revise his attitude for the next question.
Wait, was I the only one that didn't know?
Everyone nodded.
Why?
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What?
And almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away.
Huh. A bell?
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12.
It's midnight.
Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
That's plenty of time.
We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
Like,
Wait.
nah, 30. Same difference.
Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We've already searched 4 of them.
4 rooms?
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
It's fine. Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly.
All right, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes!
Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right. Then let's do this.
The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
Ace, Santa Clover, June, 7, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of door number 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they'd gathered in front of the red next to door number 8.
What are they doing over there?
Had one of them found the missing piece?
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Jumpy, look!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what she had meant.
Vacant?
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Yeah, you trust them?
Well...
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
This is solidly, I think we're completely, yeah, we're past the point where there's any sort of variance in the text or anything. We know what happens next. Snake is, you know, he's in there. He's dead. It's, you know, whatever, it's fine. Someone just murdered him, but, you know, like, it's fine. So, although it is an awkward place to, cut off, we're done with that one branch. And I think it's time for me to get some rest. So, I'll see y'all later this week for more 9 to 9. That'll be on Wednesday night, Thursday morning at 2 a.m. Central as usual. But until then, thank you for hanging out with me, as I am very too foolish in 9 to 9. And I will see if there's someone we can go visit. So I'll set up a raid. Looks like Kyvies is online, playing Super Animal Royale with some friends. Oh, and Liz is there as well. So, oh, listen, Kamya. So, let's go say hi. But yeah. Thank you for chilling with me as I, work through all these routes. And hopefully, we'll get to see even more, traumatizing endings next time. Alright, have a good night, or day, or whatever. I'll see y'all around. Bye-bye.